Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. And I got to tell you, I got a lot of email about this every time I say it on the air, and I don't get it. Why are you so upset about this? There's just no two ways about it. When I meet a woman who has kids by another guy, that's baggage. That's what it is. Don't get me wrong. I love children. I do. I've always said the reason I don't have children is because I love them. That may not appear to make sense, but I would only have children if I knew I had the time and the inclination to care for them properly, which I don't. So I enjoy your children. I enjoy my nephew, my brother's son. He's 5 years old. Love him. But I want the kids to go home with you where they'll be cared for properly. You don't want them staying with me. You want them going home with you. So, bottom line is that children are baggage from the past when it comes to a relationship. Why are they baggage? Well, they are baggage because this is a little person who looks like her ex-boyfriend or ex-husband. Somebody who no doubt will be calling, writing, complaining about you or whatever. Ever been at somebody's house who has kids and then daddy calls on the phone? Daddy is spying, wants to know who mommy's friend is, meaning you. Trying to cause problems between you and the woman you're trying to date. It's just baggage. It is also an expense because ultimately, except in rare instances, and you know, I can see there are exceptions to every single rule, but except in rare instances, you'll be called upon to do the following. Babysit, even if it's just for 10 minutes while your girl goes into the store. Spend money on kids. Christmas, birthdays, theme parks, movies, whatever. I mean, even women who say they don't need any help ultimately start relying upon you for at least a few things having to do with that kid, even if nothing else. Ever been with a woman who has no time to go anywhere, can't find a babysitter, doesn't have time, has to help the kid do homework? Look, I want kids to be raised properly. I'd be the last one to say that women should drop everything to be with me if they've got a kid. They should raise the kid properly. But that kid is her responsibility, not mine, and why should I suffer? Because she decided to have a baby with somebody she couldn't rely upon to be around. Somebody who wasn't a good guy. Why should I have to let my life suffer? It just doesn't make any sense. Yes, children are baggage when they belong to somebody I might have a relationship with. Again, it's not the kid's fault. You're right. It's not the kid's fault. But it shouldn't be my problem. And I do believe that women who have kids, especially at a young age, of course they have a harder time finding people. It's baggage. Rich, successful guys can afford to be with women who have 0 on the odometer. They don't need to be with somebody who's got baggage from the past. Living, breathing baggage. So all you girls out there who are young, who decide, yeah, you're going to have the baby, just be prepared that most guys feel the way I do. Most of us don't want your baggage. We don't want your baggage from the past. We don't want your little accidents or mistakes. We don't want your illegitimate kids. We don't want your crumb crunchers. I don't care how kids were born. I love them, care about them, think they're wonderful, but I don't want your responsibilities. I spent my life trying to avoid responsibilities like that so that I can have the kind of fun I'm having today. Are you kidding me? All you morons out there who love to write to me and tell me how unhappy I am and I'm so lonely and I'm so miserable. I mean, if you could only know how that's so not the truth. I am happy, happy, happy. And the main reason I'm happy is because I don't get involved in these situations with baggage from the past. The more baggage there is, the less likely I am to be involved. I have no interest. I once dated a woman who, and by the way, why do I know this? I have dated women with kids. Here's what happens, okay? I dated a woman in the past. This is true. She worked with me. We dated. The 2 rules I broke because she had a kid and we worked together, and that's how I know so much about this. And ultimately, she and her little crumb cruncher moved into my home. Try to imagine Tom Leykis with his girlfriend and her 9-year-old son living in a townhouse together, okay? And there's Dad calling from 1,500 miles away, trying to find out what Mom is up to. And the kid's on the phone going, uh-huh, I don't think so, uh-huh, like that. And the kid, when he's not getting attention, starts rocking and rolling, playing dangerous experiments. The kid was smart. He wanted to find out what happened if he took the light bulb out of a socket, like a lamp socket, and stuck a brass screw in there to see what would happen, shorted out the whole second floor of the house. And it was great, just because his mom and I were trying to get some alone time together. What do I need that for? I don't. So, I told her one day, I said to her, you know what, I can't do this. By the way, I've made the I can't do this speech. I can't tell you to how many women. I can't do this. I can't do it. I said, your son, wonderful, nice guy, good guy, just, I can't. We can't all live together like this. She offered to send him back to his father so we could be together. And I'm like, I don't want you doing that. I don't want you doing that. You belong with your son. And me, I belong with no children living in the house. That's where I belong. This is your issue to deal with. So we split up. We didn't see each other anymore. That was it. I don't need your baggage from the past. Now, granted, do I have baggage? Well, I don't have any living, breathing baggage. I can tell you that. But, sure, I've got, just like everybody else, I've got the accumulation of experiences, mistakes, disappointments in my life, people carving my heart out with a Swiss Army knife. I've got my experiences like anybody else. The one thing I don't have is another human being that I'm responsible for that ultimately you're going to have to be responsible for. You see, I don't have that kind of baggage from the past. And if you do, I shouldn't be with you. Right?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
God, talking to you is like talking to Mickey Mantle. This is the best, Tom.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Albert on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Tom?
Doing okay.
So I was listening to the show, and I heard you talking about these women with baggage, their living, breathing baggage. I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I'm a single father. And it's like what you said, man, they're baggage. Kids are baggage. It's something you got to deal with. Plenty of responsibility limits you. But, I try to explain that to these women when I first go out with them.
Right.
And they don't seem to get it. They don't get how real it is and how much time it does take away.
And that's if you're doing it right, as a father.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of work, I'll tell you that.
Oh, I know that. That's why I don't have any kids.
Right. I don't blame you. This is my first and only one.
Yeah. And again, people misread me, too. They think I don't like kids. I hate kids. On the contrary, I love them very much.
Right.
That's why I didn't have any.
Right. I'm with you, man. I should have learned. I grew up in a family where I was the oldest of 5 and had to take care of my brothers. So it wasn't too bad of a transition for me, but now that I'm older, I'm like, I want to have my fun.
Yeah, I understand. Well, you had your fun. That's why you're a dad. As you know.
A little bit of that, too.
Thank you, Albert.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate the call. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Manny on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
This is Manny, and
I just said that.
Baggage should be allowed in a relationship because it took both to get in there and do it.
Took both who?
Male and female.
But if I'm not the male, why do I want your baggage?
You should have it because...
Why should I have your baggage?
Because you wanted to be the single reason of putting the seed in.
Pal, first of all, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I'm talking about when I meet a woman who has a child by somebody else. I didn't put any seeds in. I'm the new guy. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's a yes or a no question, Manny. Do you understand what I'm saying? Moron. Yeah. Jesus. Just a total idiot. Hopefully he's not breeding. You're the one who put the seed in. No, I'm not. Somebody else did. Rich on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Doing okay.
Hey, hopefully I'm not quite an idiot like the last caller was. But
hopefully.
I am one of those dweebs you called earlier. I did marry a woman who had 2 children from a previous marriage. In addition, she had an abortion. And
how'd that work out?
We're going to be married 15 years coming up on Thursday, and we have 2 additional kids from our marriage together.
Okay.
So I'm one of the...
Well, if you enjoy that, mazel tov. But
I know, I definitely agree with your position.
Said the atheist.
I applaud all these women who've called to tell their stories. It's great. The only problem I have with some of the discussion, and the woman who called and said you're going to hell, she's a nutcase, and the woman who seemed somewhat intelligent about the pro-life and her discussions seemed pretty intelligent. The only disservice I think you give to your listeners is, of all the calls I've listened to over the last hour and a half, there was 1 or 2 callers who basically had good experiences by not having abortions, and you seem to go on the offensive with those 2 right off the bat.
Now, this is not a critique session for our show, okay? If you have a comment about what I'm talking about this hour, which is that when I meet a single woman who is looking to date men, and she has children, I see her children as baggage. Baggage I don't want to have to help her carry.
I agree with you completely.
Well, if you agreed with me completely, you wouldn't have gotten married to somebody like that.
Well,
I don't agree with me completely.
I agree with you if that's your opinion. I mean, my opinion is different. I didn't consider children to be baggage. You obviously do.
I do. Yes, I do, and that's the point I'm making during this hour of this particular program that we're having right now.
Right. I mean, I love your show. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
But I think you should at least applaud the women who decide not to.
No, I don't. No, I applaud women who have abortions. Standing ovation. Are you kidding me?
I applaud both. Are you? Can I ask you one question?
I don't applaud both. If any of the 4 women I impregnated had children, I would not be giving them a standing ovation.
Well, I guess my question is, are you pro-abortion or are you pro-choice?
Well, first of all, I'm pro-choice, and second of all, if a woman I impregnate gets pregnant, I'm pro-abortion.
That's good.
It's true.
it's definitely true for you. It might not be true for somebody else.
I'm not claiming it's true for somebody else, but I'm saying don't be a pussy and just lay down and accept this, and do not get involved with people who have baggage from the past.
Okay.
Now, if it worked for you, fantabulous, but for me, I don't need the ex hanging around all the time, coming to pick up the kids, calling on the phone all the time. I don't need holidays that are disrupted by people from the past who your wife or girlfriend had sex with at one time or another. Who needs that? If you enjoy it, hallelujah, but it's not for me.
Okay.
And it's not, and by the way, there's a lot of guys out there who are undecided how they feel about that, or they haven't thought about it, and I'm trying to tell them, don't get involved in those situations.
That's fair enough.
I know. Carroll on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Yes, hello. How you doing, Tom?
Great, Carroll.
I just wanted to give you a thumbs up. I think you're doing these young men a great service. I only have sons. I have tried to tell them what we women are capable of in certain situations.
Uh-huh.
And I think you're doing a great job. I just wanted to call and tell you, not all women think that you're telling lies and
Oh,
all.
I know that's true, because then I'd never find women to date.
That's very true. and I understand about the baggage. I understand completely, because I wasn't one that took baggage into a marriage, but I have had a son that has had nothing but baggage, and I feel sorry for the children. But women need to be responsible for their own bodies and their own judgments. And I just say, hey, keep going, man, keep going.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
But I'm so glad you brought that up, because, by the way, what I wonder about is women who don't use any birth control at all. What are they thinking? What are they thinking? Like, if you're a sexually active woman and you don't use birth control, why? That's a whole other show we could do. Why? Why would you not use birth control? It doesn't make any sense, and I tend to believe that women who don't use birth control probably wouldn't mind having kids. Maybe they'd even like it. They don't want to take responsibility for making a decision to have a child. They just want to say, well, one thing led to another, 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Nathan on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, what's up, Tom? How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay.
Right on. Hey, I just actually tuned on to your show about 20 minutes ago. I'm driving out to Chino from Azusa. But one of the things that just kind of, as a kid who was accepted by another family, like I was adopted, so I guess you could call me baggage in a sense, you know what I mean?
You were somebody's baggage.
Yeah, well, it was a different story. My dad had left, and my mom got sick and couldn't take care of us. But anyways, I was just thinking, and kind of like this one little analogy that sticks in my head is like every rose has its thorn, and I think there's a lot of good stuff that can come out of having.
Wasn't it Bret Michaels who once said that?
What? Yeah, I don't know who it was who said that, but
Bret Michaels, the great philosopher Bret Michaels, once said that.
Yeah, but do you agree with that? I mean, there's good stuff that can come out of that. I mean,
not for me.
Not for so it's more of a personal thing, not like a general.
Yeah, but you know what? Not for most people.
Really?
And I would say that as a child who was taken on by another man, other than your biological father, you were extraordinarily lucky, and he was an unusual person. But most men don't want that responsibility. And
yeah, I mean, that's cool. I just think a lot of people sometimes are way too selfish, and it
has nothing to do with selfishness. In fact, to tell you the balls to the wall truth here, Nathan, that you might not like, I tend to think that any man who takes on some other guy's children thinks your mom's a good piece of ass. That's his incentive for doing it.
Well, for me, I got taken on by people they were family members, but like I didn't know them. Like, I met them, like, once in my life.
So you're not even talking about a scenario like I'm talking about here. I'm talking about, your mom has you, and then the father goes away, and then some other guy comes into your mom's life and takes over where your dad left off.
Well, I've seen in friends' lives and in other family members' lives where a new spouse comes in and they love those kids like their own, and it was
But again, their incentive is that mom can suck a basketball through a garden hose. I mean, let's be realistic. No, nobody is that charitable.
I disagree on that because I've seen some very charitable people.
So you're telling me that a lot of these women are lousy in bed, these guys just like to do charity work?
Well, I'm saying not every guy is like you, Tom.
I think guys are more like me than they're like you.
Yeah, and, you know, that could be why the world is in the state that it's in now. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so. I think too many guys are stupid and get involved with other people's baggage, and they shouldn't do it.
So, yeah, what about the fruit that it could have in that kid's life?
Well,
what if it could make a good difference?
Well, it could also make a lousy difference. How many women marry guys who are drunks, pot smokers, whatever, as a second husband or as the first husband, they had an illegitimate kid or whatever, and the guy is worse, or the guy's abusive, or the guy is something else? You know, you can't assume that because there's another guy around that it's going to be good for the kid. Somebody who doesn't want baggage shouldn't take it on.
Yeah, if you don't, I agree. If you don't want it and you're not going to live up to it.
And there's a lot of guys who just want to get laid, and they take on other people's baggage because they see a good piece of ass.
Yeah, and I really don't like people that do that, which is why.
But there's a lot of it out there, and I'm telling these guys, find another piece of ass.
I'm respecting what you do on that one. That's a very admirable thing. And just saying, hey, if you're not going to take the responsibility, don't do it. And
there's a lot of guys who say they take on the responsibility because mom likes to hit it all night long.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm telling these guys, how about you just find another piece of ass?
Yeah, just tell them, be careful, don't become a deadbeat father on accident, because that's one thing I had, and that's one thing you don't want to be.
Well, Nathan, now I'm going to say something's going to be hard for you to hear. If you have a deadbeat father, it's because your mom liked effing deadbeats.
Oh,
your mom chose your dad. Don't ever forget that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't be going around talking about deadbeat dads. Your mom spread your legs for a deadbeat. That's why you have a deadbeat dad.
Yeah, but that was a drug addict and all that.
And your mom spread her legs for a drug addict.
Yeah.
And she chose him. She has no right to complain about him now because she told him to stick it in.
She has no right. I do, though. I don't know. I'd forgive the guy if that's all.
Yeah, but who chose the guy?
Her.
Right. Why do you blame it all on him? If he was an irresponsible deadbeat who was a drug addict, why would someone have sex with a guy like that and say, come on, impregnate me?
Good point. Good point. They were married for a couple of years, and then they had us, and then... Yeah,
well, why would somebody marry somebody like that? And then blame it on him. Oh, he's such a deadbeat.
He wasn't at first.
Come on. Yes, he was. You don't know what it was like at first. You can't remember that.
I can remember far back enough to... It was like my dad left.
So what, on your 12th birthday, he started doing drugs? Before that, he was completely clean?
No, he left when I was like 7.
Right. So on your 6th birthday, he started doing drugs?
No, he was...
Come on, pal. Come on, pal. Come on. She's lying to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't want to take responsibility for choosing a deadbeat dad to be your dad.
Yeah.
All right, and don't you get suckered into it. That's how you turn into a pussy as a male adult.
Yeah, I know what I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be that deadbeat dad. I'm going to have kids, but I'm not going to be that kind of guy who just leaves his kids.
Don't be a pussy, and don't be having children. Do not have children or a girlfriend until you have realized your dream in life.
Not till I'm ready, man. Not till I'm ready. Once I find that one, I'll know. Until then, though, have as much fun.
You're not going to be ready for a long time.
Yep, I know that.
All right.
You have a good one, Tom.
All right, you too, Nathan.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866.
90% of the world believes in a higher form, a deity of some sort.
90% of the world eats at the Olive Garden. Does that make it good food?
The Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show here at 1-800-5800-TOM. Why would anyone want to get involved with somebody with baggage from a previous relationship? Most notably, living, breathing baggage. Angelica, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Angelica, I have to step out real quick. I'm Angelica's boyfriend. And you're right about that. You know, she had kids when I first met her. And it's crazy. You know, we're always arguing. You know, we try to go in the room or something. The kids are, you know, stepping all over the bed and stuff, you know what I mean? And
you got to turn the radio off there, pal. What's your name?
my name is Steven.
Steven. And what, she was too busy to be on a national radio program? She handed you the phone?
Her kids.
Oh, because of her kids?
Yeah.
So it hasn't been good for you, has it?
No, it hasn't.
And she's all upset that I'm saying this because she was going to call in and say the exact opposite, right?
Exactly. You know, I feel like, you know, even though I know in reality that you can't get a girl, and no girl's probably going to date you, and, you know, you're an awful disc jockey, you sound like you smoke like 100 packs of cigarettes a day, what you're saying is correct.
So why do you stay? Maybe you should go.
Well, you know, like, I don't know if you ever been with a woman, but
yes, I've been with a woman. Yes.
Well, I don't know. You know,
maybe 2 or 3.
Right. Well, the thing I'm trying to tell you is that, you know, it's good, and just because they have kids does not make them any less of a woman. Makes them more of a woman. It's you know, if you
yeah,
knew
so you
that.
like all that fighting and screaming. You like that, huh?
But hey, sex dominates a lot of other things. I mean, you know.
Okay, so you just stay for the sex.
Exactly. The sex is awesome.
Does she know you just stay for the sex?
She's a stripper.
She probably thinks you love her.
A woman makes you more. No, I love her.
Pal, you got to turn the radio off. That's the last time I'm going to tell you.
What?
The radio off.
Oh, right.
I've had enough. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Yvette on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Leykis. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
I know. Yes.
Well, first of all, I agree with you about the baggage, and let me tell you my situation I'm in. I'm currently getting divorced, and I have 2 children, and that was one of the reasons that kept me from getting divorced and kept me sticking out in the marriage, was because I know that guys don't like mothers that have children.
Right.
Or dating women like that. And it's happened to me. I've been at the stores and guys are like flirting with me, and all of a sudden my child comes up to me and knocks over something, and they're like, whoa, like they just like run the other way. So, you know, I agree with you completely. And I also, you know, another thing I wanted to tell you about, mothers that have children and, you know, most single mothers that have children, you know, are just sleeping around and not using any protection. But, you know, in those cases, you know, that's unfortunate. But
because they want to have more children.
Huh?
Because they want to have more children.
Well, you know what? If they want to have children and are just using men that are not their husbands, then they don't deserve to get any child support. I honestly believe that because they should, you know, I just feel very strongly against child support. Even with my currently husband right now, I would never demand any child support because I don't think that's anything you have to force out of somebody.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't want to get child support, that's their problem. And, you know, life always has a way of making you pay for what you don't do and you're supposed to do anyways.
So you're aware how hard it is going to be to find a quality guy in the future, right?
Well, I'm still young enough, I think, and you know what? It's very rare. I know it's very rare, and it's not just the average guy that would take it on, especially because my kids are really brats, active, and my therapist wouldn't like me hearing your station right now because he's been trying to convince me that I don't have to, you know, be married for my children to have a father, that I could always find a very good man who will take care of them and raise them, and I know that's very unlikely, but, you know.
Very, very unlikely. I mean, the guys who are going to be interested in that are less successful, less educated, got less going on in their lives.
So, whatever it is, he'd probably end up being better than my current husband anyway, so.
Well, I understand. But you're not going to have George Clooney marching up to the door and saying, hey, I'd like to take on your problems.
You'll never know. Maybe he meets me and, you know, wouldn't mind.
Let me tell you something, dear.
What?
George Clooney does not need to take on your husband's kids.
Well, he doesn't have to take them on, but, you know, I do believe that men can fall in love with women that have kids and just, you know.
Oh, they can, but they shouldn't.
Well, you can't control that sometimes.
Oh, yeah, you can. You know what? I can control. By the way, if I think I'm falling in love with somebody who has kids, I get away from that person as fast as I can.
Why?
You do have control over that.
You know what? There's one thing I do. I mean, if I never talk to you again or anything, I do wish one thing on you. I really wish, and I pray to God that one day you'll have a child.
Why?
Because I think that's the only way. We're all going to die, but that's the only way of actually staying on this planet. You
know what? When I'm gone, I'm gone. I don't need to stay on this planet.
You don't want to leave a sign with your name, a junior, somebody?
No. I am my own legacy. I don't have to procreate in order to leave a legacy.
Well, I hope you don't die before you have a child. I really do.
I hope I don't die before the end of my contract.
You have to have some type of parental instinct.
No, I don't. No, I do not. My sons all call this show.
You probably have a son somewhere out there.
No, I don't think so. And you know why I don't think so? It's because I'm on the radio. I'm a public figure. If I did, they would have contacted me by now. Everybody knows where I am.
Money. Another thing I wanted to tell you, I've been hearing, I barely looked online to see what you look like because I've been hearing women bashing you about you're not so good looking yourself and things like that. And you're not, I don't think you're ugly, and I just wanted to tell you that.
Wow.
I don't think you're ugly at all. And just because it looks like you like to eat, that's all, but, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Well, there you go.
But I don't think you're unattractive, and I just wanted to tell you that for the record because I hear so many women use that they, come back when you're saying something that they don't like to hear. So I was curious because I've been hearing you for...
Well, they say that only because they've got no argument. Women generally are not as good at logic as men are, and so that's what they reach down to when they can't think of anything to say.
That's true, and you know what? I have 2 little boys, and I'm hoping that when they grow up and become teenagers, you're going to be on the air, or somebody just like you. Maybe your son will be on the air because
my son, yes,
my boys to know all this stuff.
I don't think I'll put it this way: if I have a son, he's not going to be on the radio teaching your kids. I'll tell you that.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866.
Where do women spend most of their time?
In my wallet.
How about in front of the mirror?
Well, that might be the second place they spend most of their time.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. Beatrice, hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I completely agree with you that single women that have children should not be dating guys that do not have kids. My children aren't baggage to me, but I feel that if I date somebody, they will be baggage to them, and it's not fair to them.
Exactly.
You could still have your life and, have fun. You just don't need to bring a man into your home. I am a successful woman. I support my children, and I don't need anybody to come and play dad for them. They have their dad, even though he's not in the picture, but my children are strong children, and they understand, that this is just the way it is. The choices that I made, obviously, I'm going to have to be alone for a while, but that's fine with me because that's my choice, and it's not fair for me to bring my problems onto somebody else.
Right. But it is baggage.
It is.
That's what I'm trying to say. You got all these people getting all upset.
It is. It is baggage. I myself would never date anybody that has children. I don't want to deal with the crap that comes with it. So I don't think it's fair that I bring it on to somebody else. Women that are out there saying that, looking for their kid's dad or somebody to come and support them, grow up, be a woman, get a job, make some money, make your own money, and you won't have to depend on anybody else to support your kids.
Exactly. Rob on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Okay, Rob.
So I was married before. She had 2 kids, and as we all know, it's hard enough keeping a woman happy, but all it would take for me, I'd get this girl in a great mood, then it would be one phone call from the ex, and it would just ruin the whole weekend.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. God.
I mean, it's all it really takes. I mean, and that's what these guys need to realize is, I always said I should be the only guy that has the ability to piss my wife off, but this other guy had it too. And it just made my life miserable. And the girls were great. Her daughters were wonderful girls. They were, they were one of the better parts of the relationship. But that whole dealing with that aspect of another man having control over your wife or girlfriends or whatever you want to call it, happiness. It's just, you don't want to do it.
And in that sense, they are baggage.
Yeah, and they are. And they have a certain control over it, over your happiness. So,
no doubt about it. Let me quickly get Tim in here. I got 30 seconds, Tim.
How you doing? I wish I would have started listening to your show 7 years ago. You'd have saved me a lot of money. I'm married now, been married 5 years. She had a 2-year-old when I met her. 4 years after we started living together, her sister moved in. I make a 6-figure salary. I'm broke. She has a brand new truck. I got a beat-up truck. I work 6 days a week, 14 hours a day, and I regret it every single day.
I hope the boys are listening to you there, Tim. Thanks a lot for calling in from Dallas.
The Tom Leykis Show.